GMC just announced that they are reviving their Hummer name with the Hummer EV, and they are proclaiming it the world's first all-electric SuperTruck. I just rewatched the reveal along with some coverage from YouTubers that got to attend a pre-release event and got to see the car a little bit more up close. And at first I was really impressed. The car can get up to 350 miles of range on a charge, can charge up to 350 kilowatts. The design also looks very futuristic, but still rugged enough to appeal to a wider audience. The off-road features also look really cool. They've got this crab mode that can drive the car diagonally, and there's also an extract mode that can unlock some extra air suspension. It will also do 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds, which is just insane for a truck of this size. And all those features can be yours for just $112,595. Wait, is that right? Yeah, almost $113,000. Oh boy. Price is definitely where the concerns start for me. The Hummer EV Edition 1 will be released first in the fall of 2021. The cheapest trim, however, the Hummer EV 2, will be released in 2024 and will have a starting price of $80,000. So even if we take the cheapest trim, the price is still very expensive for the kind of range you get. And compared to some other EV pickups, the Hummer EV is one of the most expensive in terms of dollars per miles of range. The SuperTruck is about $160 per mile. The Lordstown Endurance is about $210 per mile. The Rivian is about $300 per mile, and the Hummer EV2 is around $320 per mile. So why is the Hummer so expensive? Well, it's got a huge battery, around 200 kilowatt hours, according to Jason from Engineering Explained. And the Hummer needs this big battery because of how large and inefficient it is. The Model S currently has one of the biggest batteries on the market in terms of EVs at 100 kilowatt hours and can go over 400 miles on a charge. So it's got half the battery size and can go further than this Hummer EV. That's kind of an apples to oranges comparison because the Model S is not a truck, but it does show you how much body design and aerodynamics do factor into how much range these vehicles have. So if you do make a car that is less efficient, you'll have to make up for that lost range with a bigger battery and end up paying more. So with its high price and low efficiency, who is this truck even for? GMC showed off a ton of off-roading features like I mentioned at the beginning, but who actually really needs those on a day-to-day basis? They're clearly not marketing this car as a daily driver. It looks like more of a car you have if you do want to go off-roading or you need some extra storage. It seems like more of a fun car over a practical car. Based on all the storage and stuff it has available, it might seem like a very practical car, but keep in mind with an EV, everything affects range. Throw a bunch of stuff in the bed, it's going to lose range. Strap a trailer on the back, it's going to lose range. And even starting at 350 miles, as soon as you add some of those things, your range is going to drop. You could easily drop down to just 200 miles of range if you're towing something and the environmental factors aren't ideal for driving, which is not great if you want to do some distance driving in this vehicle. So if somebody is buying this as an off-roading vehicle, they might see this vehicle but then see an equivalent gas or diesel one and end up picking that because who knows what kind of charging is available out in those off-roading locations. And if you're buying this as a work truck, you're probably still going to go with gas or diesel because you don't want to worry about charging stops or losing a bunch of range when you're trying to use your car. And all that kind of brings me to my final concern, which is availability of this truck. Like I mentioned earlier, the top trim Edition 1 is going to be available next year, but as you kind of go down the trims and drop down the line there, those release dates keep getting pushed back. The EV3X comes in fall of 2022 with 300 miles of range. The EV2X comes in spring of 2023 with 300 miles of range. And the EV2 comes in spring of 2024 with 250 miles of range and a starting price of $80,000. So in 2024, GMC will be releasing a truck with 250 miles of range with a starting price of $80,000. Let that sink in for a second. It's 2020 right now, and most people want at least 250 miles of range to make an EV practical for them. And this truck doesn't come out until 2024. $80,000 is also a lot to spend on a new vehicle right now, even for a truck. And even though all of those features might be worth it at that price point, 250 miles of range in an $80,000 electric truck is just not going to cut it in 2024. EVs are going to continue to get cheaper, they're going to get more range, the technology is going to improve, and at that point, I don't feel like this is going to be a compelling option at all. So even though I've been pretty harsh on GMC this whole video, don't get me wrong, I'm glad that they are releasing this truck and they announced this Hummer EV. We definitely need more EV offerings across different body styles, and we really haven't seen anything with this much utility in an EV so far. So the Hummer is impressive in that regard. But GMC will definitely have to improve their specs or drop their price if they want this to be a compelling offering in 2024. Thanks for checking out this video. I want to do something a little bit different here because I wasn't actually able to see the car in person, and I know a lot of other people had done that already, so I wanted to kind of give more my reaction to it more than just listing a bunch of specs. I'll have some videos linked down below from some other YouTubers that actually got to attend the event and see the truck up close if you want to kind of see a first look at the vehicle in person. But thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.